Welcome. I know from working in the district that many of you on the school board are farmers and work in the agricultural field. Consequently, you know and are very much aware how much time, money, and hard work goes into a successful harvest. Right now, District 165 needs to grow their writing program. Less than 48% of students did not meet or exceed on the park writing component. If you had a garden and more than half of the plants didn't make it, would you consider that a success? What are some of the issues contributing to this problem? Well, one, there's a lack of a consistent writing instruction program in grades 2 through 8. The writing component we do have in McGraw-Hill, our language arts program, is not utilized fully. And historically, meaning the last 3 years, the student outcomes in writing are not what they should be. Every garden does have its challenges, challenging terrain or insects in the area. What are the challenges that we face with our writing instruction? One challenge is that the teachers have a lack of confidence and capacity, and this is primarily due to minimal training. They've received very little training in writing instruction, and without that confidence and capacity, it's very hard for them to implement the rigorous writing instruction we would like them to. Additionally, about 55% of our student population is low income, and there's about a 19% mobility rate. This research shows that this brings in a lot of additional challenges in terms of the struggles of learning, the lack of vocabulary that they come to the classroom with, etc. So it does pose some additional challenges. But again, with proper training and professional development, these are challenges that can easily be remedied. And the other issue is that we just had a lack of a cohesive writing curriculum with an appropriate scope and sequence among the grade levels. What could be some of the outcomes we could expect? If we go through with the proposed plan, the expected outcomes are that we will then have a consistent, rigorous writing program. The teachers will be well trained and confident and knowledgeable in research-based writing strategies. There'll be a lot of collaboration and cohesion among grade levels. Additionally, we should see a strong and appropriate scope and sequence among and between the grade levels. And ultimately, of course, there should be an increased student achievement in writing. Why does it matter? Why do we need a strong writing program? Well, National Commission on Writing in 2011 has been advocating for significantly more class time devoted to writing. Basically, a lot of the surveys and research are demonstrating that students aren't writing often enough or nearly enough to prepare them for high school and career and college. Writing is not an elective subject. It's an essential skill, and it's also a strong predictor of academic and career success. Moreover, writing does foster comprehension, which in turn will increase reading test scores. How are we going to do this? How is our writing instruction going to blossom? How will we accomplish this? One, through comprehensive training, increasing teachers' self-efficacy, and abilities in writing instruction. We also need to establish a writing committee with grade level and content area reps that will analyze data and determine benchmarks and continually monitor the writing plan. Every garden needs the right tools, needs a little extra fertilizer, the right plant food. There's some areas that we need to target. One is that continued professional development to ensure successful writing instruction. The teachers, I believe, want to be well trained, and they want the confidence and competence to have strong writing lessons in their classrooms, but we need to support them with the right amount of training. Also, you need to use data. Data needs to drive our instruction. It needs to set our goals and grade level benchmarks so that we can see how successful the plan is, and how far we've come, and perhaps how far we still need to go. Also, we need a lot of collaboration and cohesion among grade levels. I repeated this a couple of times. I think having and establishing a writing committee with grade level representatives will go a far way to accomplishing that. And assessment. We need to be constantly assessing not only the actual writing plan that I'm proposing, but also continually monitoring student progress. The other aspect and key into having a successful implementation of really any initiative is that you have to include all the stakeholders in the process. Peer-to-peer observations, teacher-led mini lessons so that we can empower the staff. Assessing the plan. A lot of times plans are implemented and then they kind of fizzle out and nobody, realizes what happened. It could very well be that, there was issues that we were not aware of. I think it's incredibly important to continually get feedback and assess the plan through teacher surveys. We should continually evaluate student success. Meeting benchmarks, we should have midpoint and end of the year writing assessments that we can look at and see if there is the growth we're expecting. And the other thing the plan does is it does target future professional development needs. So it's a process. So it isn't just I've received training 1 or 2 times, I'm effective at this and that's done. As things evolve and our needs shift, additional professional development would probably be needed. Again, we can expect with this plan a consistent, rigorous writing program with the appropriate scope and sequence, well-trained teachers who are confident and knowledgeable in the research-based writing strategies, and increased student achievement in writing. It's a quote here, without hard work, nothing grows but weeds. So obviously this will take some time, and it will take some work. Successful outcomes often require a lot of effort, and they don't happen overnight. The initial writing plan spans about 1.5 years. I envision it as a flexible model that will be utilized for several years and modified to fit our needs as time goes on. What are the costs? Of course, there are professional development costs. We already have a district budget for this. We could shift some of those funds and utilize some of the funds for this purpose. There's also going to be substitute teacher pay. But again, a nominal cost compared to the benefit of getting that rigorous program, the collaboration, and the things that we need in order to ensure success. There are specific estimates that are detailed out in the plan that you have in front of you. These, of course, are estimates, but it kind of details out about what it would cost for substitutes, what it would cost to bring in professional development, trainers, etc. What are the next steps? Or we could view it as the first steps of the new plan. One would be to establish a writing team or committee with grade level and content area representatives. Very critical to get content area teachers in there and involved because writing needs to be a district-wide initiative. First thing would be to analyze the data and see where things are at and kind of establish some goals from that. Based on all of that, we would determine professional development needs and try to plan and implement some initial training. We would also be, of course, setting some grade level goals and benchmarks. You each have a detailed copy of the proposed writing plan in front of you. This includes an abundance of research supporting the plan's goals. You have details on several research-based strategies. There's a timeline of suggested actions or steps and tasks that you would take. Please review the plan carefully, and let's transform our student writing outcomes from wilting to blossoming. Thank you.